Thanks for staying with us. Welcome back. Residents of Johannesburg are complaining that the city has failed to attend to leaking water pipes. This results in thousands of litres of clean water being wasted. Community members are calling on Johannesburg Water and the relevant authorities to repair the issue. Our reporter Katleho Sekhotho is there. Katleho, very good afternoon to you. This has been ongoing. Residents are fed up now, looking for answers. What are the solutions at hand?
A very good afternoon, Mpo. Indeed, we are looking at burst or leaking pipes which have been left unattended to for several weeks, days, months in some cases by Joburg Water and the relevant authorities in dealing with this issue, because obviously what it means is that clean water is being lost, and this affects residents in a number of ways, Mpo. So if you see a big water leak, a big pipe leak, that often results in a decrease of water pressure. So if you're in your home and you turn on the tap, the water pressure might be a bit lower. But in the smaller leaks, you might not see a difference as a resident, but the long-term impact of burst pipes in communities is really detrimental. And I just want to show you behind me, Mpo, just here on the road in Linksfield, a burst pipe underneath the tar road. And if you take a look there, it looks like it's been there for a few weeks, days, unattended to. And it might seem like a small problem, Mpo, but what we know is that what appears to be a small problem on the surface often is probably a bigger problem underneath the ground. And so it's really Joburg residents saying to Joburg Water and the authorities involved to really, speed up the process when residents lodge a complaint, to have officials or engineers come out in good time and to deal with these issues. Obviously, also residents outlining that a lot of ailing infrastructure, there's a backlog of infrastructure development and not a lot of maintenance happening, and this is resulting in some of these big and small leaks that we're seeing throughout the city of Joburg. But I want to bring into the conversation here, Mpo, the ward councillor in the Linksfield area, Daniel Shea, just to chat to me, Daniel, about some of these issues that we're seeing. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Daniel, this looks like a small problem on the surface, but we understand this could be a much bigger problem. Would you agree?
Wholeheartedly. You've got a leak like this. You're losing probably at night at 2 or 3 litres per minute. You're timesing that by 15 to 20 of these leaks in every ward in Johannesburg, times by 135. You're losing thousands of litres every minute. We lose roughly the Zoo Lake worth of water in Johannesburg a day in terms of leaks. So it's huge amounts of water we're losing, and it obviously contributes when we have Rand water issues to the loss of water in that regard. Also, a leak like this, it's damaging the road, it causes potholes. Long term, it adds extra cost to repair. The longer it's running, the more expensive it is to repair, which costs the city money, and we don't have that much money right now.
Yeah. And we do know from Rand Water, we've heard that there's a shortage of water. So obviously if you see water leaks, one might say, oh, but it's a small leak, but actually there's a bigger problem here, that we're losing clean water.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And again, these small leaks you're seeing come up on the surface, most of the water is being lost below the surface. So that small leak might be insignificant when it comes to the surface, but it's really quite serious below ground. And with Rand Water again struggling due to load shedding, all the other issues, we can't afford to be letting these little leaks take whatever we have away from us.
Yeah. In terms of your communication, Daniel, with Joburg Water, Rand Water, or the city, what do those conversations look like? Do you lodge a complaint, and then usually what is the response?
So communication is something we struggle with in the city. Generally, it seems to be a one-way discussion where councillors are sending information to Joburg Water and the responses are few and far between. And when you really plead, you'll get a response. We're a bit backlogged, we'll get around to it, but you never really get a confirmed commitment to doing the repairs.
Yeah. And I guess just the last thing, what would you like to see the city do quickly in dealing with this situation?
I think we have to start prioritising maintenance. We haven't prioritised maintenance properly for years and years, decades. And we have to start prioritising maintenance right now, otherwise we're going to be left with a situation we can't repair.
Yeah. I actually just thought of, while you're speaking there, Daniel, the political instability within the city. We've seen several mayors take up that post in the last few months. Do you think political instability is playing a big role in a lack of maintenance of infrastructure?
Unfortunately, yes. I think what we've got is a heavily politicized administration in our cities, and we can talk about certain policies towards that. But what happens generally when you have a political blip or change in leadership, instead of the administration carrying on, they stop and they look for instruction. And in a normal service delivery oriented government, your administration will carry on going no matter what's happening politically. We need to get to that stage somehow.
Thank you so much for your time, Daniel. Mpho, you heard there from Daniel Shea, who is a ward councillor here in the Linksfield area, just explaining the challenges that they're facing, also pointing towards the political instability within the city, the chopping and changing of mayors, playing a big role in there not being able to be a really compact or, thorough means of addressing challenges because of the chopping and changing of administration, but also saying, something that looks like a small leak on the surface might present bigger problems as far as potholes in the roads, and also just having then, when you do fix the roads, you need to have road agencies coming to fix the road after Joburg Water has fixed the pipe. So a lot of governance, or a lot of key players in governance, have to be involved in the repair of such challenges or such infrastructure problems.
Absolutely, very concerning indeed. Our reporter Katleho Sekhotho, they're giving us some insight on the leaks and repairs that need to take place throughout parts of Johannesburg.